Welcome. My name is Lerato Mahlope, the author of His Will Be Done. Thank you for watching. Today I will be sharing with you on the following topic. According to Ephesians 1:11, all things are done according to God's plan and decision. And God chose us to be His own people in union with Christ because of His own purpose, based on what He had decided from the very beginning. Please note that the scripture says all things are done according to God's plan and decision. Not some, not most, not good things only. Also note that God chose you to be His because of His own purpose, not your own purpose or your parents' purpose. Do you believe that all things in your life are done according to God's plan and decision? Let's be honest. It's easy to believe God is at work in your life when things are going well for you. When you get a breakthrough, you know it is God at work. When you get a new job, you know it is God at work. When your financial life is booming, you know it is God at work. But what do we think is happening when things are not going well for us? Do we still believe that God is at work? We don't. When we lose a business deal, we believe the devil is at work. When a door of opportunity shuts before our eyes, we believe the devil is at work. When our financial life gets shaky, we believe the devil is at work. If the devil is at work, where is God? Actually, come to think of it, Christians of today are like the Peters of this generation. One moment we speak that which comes directly from our Father in heaven, and the next moment we speak that which comes from the pit of hell. What do I mean? Let me show you. In Matthew 16, verse 15 to 17, Jesus asked his disciples, "Who do they say he is?" And Peter answered, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." And what did Jesus say in response to Peter? He said, "Good for you, Simon, son of John, for this truth did not come to you from any human being, but it was given to you directly by my Father in heaven." But then what happened few verses down the chapter? In verse 21 to 23, Jesus tells his disciples that he will be put to death and be raised after 3 days. And what did Peter do? He took Jesus aside and began to rebuke him, saying, "God forbid it, Lord. That must never happen to you." And what did Jesus say in response to Peter? "Get away from me, Satan. You are an obstacle in my way, because these thoughts of yours don't come from God, but from men." Do you get the picture? Do you see what I mean? Because we do not know God's will for our lives, we fail to see Him at work in our lives when we are facing challenges, experiencing troubles, going through trials, and during our testing times. Peter did not know that it was the plan and decision of God for Jesus to be put to death and raised after 3 days, and his ignorance became an obstacle to Jesus. Likewise, when we don't know the will of God for our lives, we may become an obstacle to His work. When we don't know the will of God, we will easily think that some of His plans and decisions are actually the works of Satan, especially if those plans and decisions involve pain and suffering on our part. I believe Jesus is saying the same thing that He said to Peter in Luke 22, verse 31 to 32 to us today, Peters of this generation. He is saying, "Simon, Simon, listen. Satan has received permission to test all of you, to separate the good from the bad, as a farmer separates the wheat from the chaff. But I have prayed for you, Simon, that your faith will not fail. And when you turn back to me, you must strengthen your brothers." With all that being said, I would like to leave you with one question only. What are you going through today that's making you doubt that God is still at work in your life?